Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, friends. How are you today? I hope you are in good health. Okay, today I will do presentation about the form of objects. Before I explain my presentation, I will do presenting my presentation. My topic in my presentation today is the form of objects. Before I explain my topic, I will to introduce myself. Okay, my name is Harnis Karmulianingrum. You can call me Harnis. My ID number is 004. I'm from Science Education State University of Surabaya. Okay, table of contents in my topics is 1. Definition of the form of objects. 2. Classification of the form of objects. 3. Change of the form of objects. 4. Or last is uses of the form of objects. Okay, and first is definition of the form of objects. Before I explain definition of the form of objects, I want to ask for you, do you know definition of the form of objects? Okay, I will to explain definition of the form of objects. The form of objects is the shape of an object. If you touch or hold an object, you will feel its shape and form. Okay. Next topic is classification of the form of objects. Do you know classification of the form of objects? Okay. I will to explain classification of the form of objects. Classification of the form of objects. The objects that exist on this earth have various forms, ranging from solid, liquid, to gas. All of these objects have something in common. They have mass and occupy space or volume. Okay, one is solid. Characteristic features of solids are fixed form. Next is fixed volume. The location of the particles close together. Particle motion is not free. The particle form is very strong. The arrangement of the particles is very close together. Cannot be composed. Okay. Next is liquid. Characteristic features of liquids are the shape changes according to the container. The volume is fixed. Follow the shape of the container. The location of the particles close together. Irregular arrangement of particles. Particle movement is slightly free. The bonds between particles are weak. And last is gas. Characteristic feature of gas are change volume, irregular arrangement of particles. The location of the particles is very far apart. Particle movement is very free. Particle bonds are very weak. Okay. Next topic is examples. Examples from solid. Candle, glass, rubber, plastic, crystal, ice, and edge. Okay, next is liquid. Examples: oil, water, syrup, and edge. Okay, and last is examples from gas: oxygen, air, and edge. Okay, and next topic is change of the form of objects. Change of the form of objects are events that change the shape of an object into a different form. Change in the shape of these objects can occur due to the process of releasing, absorbing heat. Okay, 1. Freeze. Do you know freeze? Okay, freeze in an event of changing the form of objects from liquid to solid. When this event occurs, the substance releases heat energy. Example from freeze is water that is cooled by placing it in the freezer will freeze. Okay, next is liquefy. Liquefy is a change in the form of an object from solid to liquid. This event captures heat energy. An example is if you put ice cubes at room temperature, the food will melt and turn into water. Okay, next is resemble to or condensation. Do you know condensation? Okay, condensation is an event of changing the form of an object from gas to liquid. This process requires heat energy. Example, when the ice cubes are placed in the glass, later on the outside of the glass will appear dots of water that wet the glass. That means the ice cubes have condensed. Okay, next is steam or evaporation. Evaporation is an event of changing the form of objects from liquid to gas. In this event, the substance requires heat energy. Example from evaporation is if you let it boil, it will eventually run out because it evaporates. Okay. Next is sublimate. Do you know sublimate? Okay. Sublimate is a change in the form of an object from solid to gas. In this process, substance requires energy. Example from sublimate is camphor stored in the cupboard. Do you know camphor stored? Okay. Camphor stones, which are solid objects, will eventually run out because they turn into gas. Okay, and last is crystallis. Crystallis is an event of changing the form of an object from gas to solid. In this event, the substance releases heat energy. Example from crystallis is stream that turns to snow. Okay. Next or last topic is uses of the form of objects. Uses of the form of objects. There are 4. 1. Mothballs sublimate. Camphor products a fragrant smell which is useful for making scented cabinets. Okay. 2. Seawater evaporates, so it can produce salt. Okay. And 3. Seawater rivers lakes evaporates. After condensing, it finally rains. Okay, and 4 or last, water freezes. So it becomes ice which can make cold drinks. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for your attention. I'm sorry when I do mistake, and I hope you understand of my topic or my presentation. Okay, see you later and goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.